Right. I suppose I believe there was something, you know, there has to be something, but I didn't really necessarily know what it was. And I kind of had encounters, you know, that I kind of went through a period of my life where I was drinking quite a lot. And I remember one particular time I was down in Breen, and I'd been drinking the night before, and I was really, really down and depressed and kind of in a bad place. And I sat in this cafe, and a friend of mine came in. I hadn't seen for 20 years. And all he did was just hug me. And that spirit, I don't know what it was, but it just lifted me for like months. And then I kind of, I don't know, reverted back to drinking because I didn't really know what it was. And as I kind of went on through life, you know, like you do, you're looking for something, but you're not quite sure what it is. You know, what is it? Is it money? Is it, you know, relationships? And I knew it wasn't any of those because I'd already had those, and it didn't really fulfill me, you know. And then like being the youngest as well of my family, that kind of, I was always a bit of a loner, you know. I'd been the youngest and not really, because my dad left when we were quite young, and my mum was always there, but it was just me and mum really. And then when she died in '91, it was just, you know, all the family had split up then. So, but always, in the back of my mind, I thought there must be something, because I remember when I would, I had about quite a bit of money at the time, and I was feeling, you know, quite good about myself and all the rest of it. But there was always something empty, you know. I had a nice car, I had a girlfriend, money and stuff. And I remember taking my car to a mechanic who was a pastor as well. And he said to me, "You need to come to church." And I thought, well, why? What's there at church? And I didn't go. You know, I didn't go. And I've been to church. We used to go to church when we were kids, you know, when we were young kids. And sometimes we never used to go. We used to go to the park. You know, I'd been to church, but I didn't really get anything from it. You know, it's just, you know, it's some God that you couldn't see or you couldn't feel, or there was nothing tangible. There was nothing connecting me with Him, you know. And that's how it went. That's how it went for years. And then, I suppose, even when my mum died, I didn't really ask the question. I just thought it was part of life. You know, people get old, they die, and that's it. The real impact came when my niece, she's 31 years old, Melaine Spencer, she got diagnosed with cancer in 2021. And I thought she was going to be all right. You know, I really thought she was going to be all right. Didn't really think it was that serious. And we used to go and visit her in the hospital, and that went on for about a year. And in between that, I started running. I was doing 10K a day for cancer, thinking that'll help her. They'll find the cure. And then at the end of it, because I was doing that for 101 days, in between that, she died. And I'm thinking, just a minute, I'm supposed to be making a difference here. And it didn't make no difference. And that kind of crushed me. That really, really crushed me. Because why would God, and that's when I started getting quite mad about it actually, why would God take somebody so innocent, so pure, who's never done anything to anybody, and allow that person to die like that? That was just like, that's where I was at. And then I remember I wanted some answers, you know, and I remember Richard and Ben being in the hospital at the time, and praying over her. And even then I thought, they're going to save her. And they didn't. And I suddenly thought then, where's this supernatural God they're talking about? Where is he? Why can't he save my niece? And I got really, really angry, and I came into this church I think it must have been about a week later after she died. And because Nicola was here, her mum. And I came to the church, and I was drunk, and I was mad. I was angry, really, really angry, thinking, why would you allow, where is this supernatural God you're talking about? So I came in here, and I think I remember seeing you that day actually, and they all had, and I remember seeing Jamie and Ben, and obviously Ben knew the story with my niece, and then of course I seen Richard up there, and I sat down and I wanted to get up, and they were pulling me back down and I wanted to get out, and eventually I went up. But there's something that happened then, because I had all this anger inside of me, and it just dissipated. It just went from me completely. And I stood there for a little while, came and sat back down. I think he was halfway through the sermon. He finished the sermon, and then he asked if anybody wanted to be baptized, and I put my hand up, not knowing that in the background, this is later on, that Richard was speaking to my fiancée Gail and my niece, is he all right? Is he going to accept it? Is he genuine? And they said, yeah, he's genuine. And I got baptized on that day. So that's the first day I came into that church, this church, Hillfield, I got baptized. And what I realized then also is my niece, because I kind of thought back of when she was in the hospital and when they were praying over her. And what I began to realize, that she was saved, she was out of pain. He'd answered our prayers. Do you know what I mean? And as time went on, I came to church for a few more times, and I always thought that Richard was talking to me personally. Do you mean? I was thinking, would this man just shut up? Anyway, and then I kind of went back to my old life. Drinking, just being miserable. And for this went on for about 9 months. And you asked my fiance. For that 9 months, I had a bedroom downstairs, and I basically was screaming out for 9 months. Just the pain that was unimaginable. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, seriously, I would not wish. And then after 9 months, I was still reading the Bible, and he was talking to me, God was talking to me personally, And then one day he said, right, that's it, let's go. And I got up, came to church, texted Richard, told him, I don't know whether he remembered me, and he said, yeah, I remember you. and I came back to church, and once I started, because I made it a mission to find out what God was all about. That was like a promise to my niece, to find out what it was all about. And when you read the Bible, I started on Genesis, and then somebody said to me, read the book of John. And I read the book of John, and I just was like floods of tears. And I think that was the time when I called Richard and said, yeah, no, I'll come back. I want to learn more. And having that hunger. And now, when I look back on my life, all the things that I'd done and how he'd rescued me. I didn't know it then, but when I look back on it now, all those times he rescued me, pulled me out the gutter. Do you mean? I had a car crash, and I just come off a fast bit of road, and I was just coming into this little A B road, just going around to my a cul-de-sac going around to my place, and I had a seizure, smashed into this bollard, and if it had been 2 minutes earlier, I'd have been dead. And you can't tell me that's coincidence. You know what I mean? For some reason, he'd been knocking on my door for quite some time, and then eventually he said, come on, let's go. And how's my life been since knowing God, it's like what Richard said in one of his sermons. It's like, I got introduced to God, just like I got introduced to you, and I don't know you, you know what I mean? And as time goes on, we get to know each other, and God, Jesus is exactly the same. You know, you introduce yourself to him, and he says, right, okay, you know, let's have a relationship. And that's, I feel I've got with him, you know, and it's beautiful, because with that, you know, my fiancée, she was a Christian, she is a Christian, and she went through a bad time with the church and didn't really want to talk about Christianity and all the rest of it. But through me being saved, she's also saved. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't say anything to her about that. That was her own, because sometimes they see how you walk. You know, they see how you walk, and then they want to walk in the same footsteps you're walking in. Because, you know, I'm not a follower of man anymore. I'm a follower of Christ, and that's you know, that's who I'm leading. That's who I'm taking my, you know, instruction from. You know, and the anxiety, the alcohol, the depression, it's gone. And you know, and I've been to AA meetings and all that kind of stuff, and they work for a little while, and then you think, what's the real purpose? Because you've got to find a purpose, and the purpose is Jesus. When I think about Jesus and God, it blows my mind, because you have this supernatural God that can do anything, and he chooses to love us and give us grace. Isn't that unreal, isn't it? That's just, it blows my mind. And actually, I'll tell you this, because I think it's important. When I went to about the Israelites, for instance, and how they disobeyed God, it got me scared, because I didn't want to be disobedient to God, because I know his power, and I know I want to live the best life I can to honor God. So I moved out of my house. You know, we weren't married, and I said to Gail, because once she had the baptism, I think, you know, that was important for her, for us, you know. And now I just want to represent God. I just want to, you know, have my life as a shining example. And if it means sacrificing, you know, say my sisters or friends for a year before we got married, so be it. Do you mean? And every morning that I get up now, I have a purpose. You know, and it's beautiful. It's just beautiful to just get up and know. Because sometimes before, I used to get up in the morning and think, oh God, here's another day. But now, I get the chance to share the gospel with my colleagues, with my friends, with people I meet on the street. And that's the beautiful thing about it. Sometimes they don't want to listen, so be it. You know, I didn't want to listen for years and years and years, and eventually, you know, the story was told. And, I mean, God's love is just like incredible, isn't it? When you really think about it, it's just incredible. And all those times I thought I was alone, he was right there. It's the only one you can ever depend on. The only one. Guy that I'm working for, his son's he's studying forensics. He's going to join the police force. Now, I said to him the other day, I was talking about Jesus, and I said, well, you go to college or university to study forensics. And obviously that is something that you enjoy, and you have to study for that. Why not take that same principle and study God and see whether it's correct or not? At least have a look. Do you mean? Don't go through life just blind like I did. Do you mean? Investigate it for yourself. Have a look for yourself. And then you can make up your own mind. Don't let other people make it up for you, because otherwise you'll go through life just miserable. I mean, when you don't have to be, because the answer is in Jesus. It's all on that cross. It's all on that crucifixion. It's all on that, whether you believe that Jesus rose from the dead. Isn't it? It's, you know, I got heroes, but they're all dead. Do you mean? The only one that's alive is Jesus.